I think I want to do this much. I'm not sure if I want to do my own attempt. Um, let me do a test of ChatGPT. So I'll have ChatGPT answer essay timed assessment, chapter 1 and chapter 2, and I will critique it. Now, these essay timed assessments are written, originally it was an anti-check measure, but, kind of an anti-cheating measure. But I think it also works equally well with the generative AI. So let's say you're doing essay timed assessment. I got 20 minutes, so I can start and kind of spend time talking. Um, and let's say you are a cheater. You want to cheat, and cheating is all you've done, and you will never stop cheating. And so, on a question like this, you decide you're gonna cheat. And I think it's gonna be pretty hard for ChatGPT to answer it. Let me give it the most advantage possible. I'm going to tell it what textbook the class is using. So I'll say, okay, good. I'm working on practice. Say questions now. The class uses this textbook, and I need to answer this question. See screenshot. Can you help? Hey, let's see. It's basically, summarize the thing, and maybe ChatGPT will correctly summarize. I don't know. I haven't tried it. That's frankly why I'm doing this. I want to kind of keep track of what can it do. So kinematics. I guess if I'm doing it in my own words, I'll talk about motion under constant acceleration and projectile motion, or orbital motion, maybe something about free fall, difference between velocity and acceleration. Um, but let's see. So kinematic study motion without focusing on oh yeah, it is able to refer to the, yeah, that is annoying. Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, ChatGPT can answer pretty well. Now, I've been using an AI system called Pangram. I think that's what you saw earlier. I'm pretty sure it'll detect this as an AI generated response. So, yeah, especially all this formatting stuff. Yeah, yeah. So let me actually give it a slight bit of kind of make it a little bit better. All this bold facing stuff, that I think is a more kind of sign there's like AI involved. So I'm copying and pasting, stripping the formatting information, and I'm just gonna make sure the mathematical expression is correctly copied, because that's just the kind of thing that I see that tells me, oh, I think that's AI generated. Let me check the pangram here. I know it's AI generated, so let me check the pangram. And it'll say, yeah, it's 100% AI, and it's pretty good. So let me do this. So I have read this. Now let me writing an answer myself. So I'll say, let me kind of get a sense of this. So talked about kinematics as a study of motion without focusing on causes, the terms, and then you talked about velocity and acceleration. Okay, so I'm gonna write something similar, but from my head. It's my own writing, my own style. Um, so kinematics, as covered in chapter 1, is a study of motion without worrying about what's causing it. The textbook introduces defines a few key terms. In fact, let me do this thing that might get it to trip a little more. But let me use the mind map that I have generated. You've seen me use it when I do chapter overview. Let's see. think, so this will make it more likely that what I write here will be detected as AI. Yeah. So it defines a few key terms, uh, such as position, displacement, distance, um, velocity, speed, and acceleration. The textbook distinguishes between scalar quantities, distance and speed, and vector quantities, displacement, velocity, and acceleration, emphasizing that vector quantities have direction as well as size, magnitude. So some talk about kinematics and coordinate systems. Let me skip that. Let's see. Distinguishing the velocity and acceleration is important, as acceleration will later tie to laws of physics governing it. I don't know if chapter 1 actually does that, but you saw chapter 2. Chapter 2, Newton's law connected to acceleration. I think there was a lecture about velocity versus acceleration, governing it. Acceleration is the rate of change of a velocity. Velocity is rate of change of position. The chapter spent some time on constant acceleration motion. There were kinematics equations we had to use for homework, and also projectile motion and orbital motion, which is a kind of projectile motion. So this is something I'm writing extemporaneously off the top of my head. Let's check it for AI. I know it, and you can kind of see as I was typing the different writing style. Maybe some people have a writing style that falsely gets flagged as AI, but at least with the things I do, Pangram hasn't been wrong so far. And it hasn't been wrong even when, because I have transcripts of my own lectures, I can do this where, actually, before I run out of time, let me have ChatGPT do this. So I'm going to have ChatGPT answer this. And while it's answering that, I'll talk about some other stuff. So I'll say, thank you. Can you answer this question, please? Actually, I think, can I? Yeah, okay. So because I have a transcript of my own lectures, I could ask ChatGPT to, generate a new lecture, but in the style of this transcript. And even when I do that, Pangram detects that as AI. And my own transcripts, it correctly flags as a human. And it's so if as I'm reading through an answer, if it really sounds like AI, I might check it with a Pangram. Now, so far I only have a free account. I'm not sure if I want to pay for a paid-for account. Free account, I can only do 4 checks a day. So okay, let me read the ChatGPT's response and see if that's correct. I gotta read the question first. Simulate picture of multiple exposure photo. Yeah. explain in your own words what you're seeing in the photo. Principle of independence of motion. If a third ball was launched to the right at a greater speed, what would you drop at the same speed, but travel farther away? Let's see. Multiple exposure, equal time interval, drop straight down horizontally. Yeah, this is what we covered in lecture. Gravity affects the vertical the same way. Yeah, yeah. If the launch the yeah, roughly uniform. Yeah, I guess it is. This distance is the same. Yeah. Third ball launched at a greater horizontal speed with bigger horizontal gaps. Yep, and then but not later. Yeah. So yeah, that's correct. So if you put this in as your answer, the content is right. It's not wrong. But as I read it, if I think that might be AI, then I will put it into Pangram. Hey, is it AI? Pangram will probably say it's AI, and then and if I see something like this in the grading notes, this is probably what I'll do. I will one kind of tell you in the note, this is the link to the Pangram thing. Like these things you can all checks. Well, yeah. So these you can I can generate a share link. Wait, can I? Yeah, I can generate a share link. So I will share the link with you. Say this AI checker says it's 100% AI. I'll say that. And ultimately, it actually doesn't matter. In this sense, we're gonna do one-on-one meeting, and in the one-on-one meeting, I might use the timed assessment. It kind of depends on the timing of the meeting and how other questions go, and especially if I have a note for myself saying that you used AI, then I'll ask you probing questions, trying to get what you personally know. And your AI generated the response, it didn't help you any. Now, if you read it, studied it, learned something from it, then I guess it also didn't hurt. But yeah, really, that's one of the reasons I started doing required one-on-one meeting about 2 years ago with my other class, and I'm really happy with how that's gone because it's really AI proof. In the Zoom meeting, I worry a little bit. There are, these startups that's helping you cheat on a Zoom meeting, like Zoom interview, and I worry. In-person meeting, I trust that 100%. No one's using AI to do well in an in-person meeting, unless you are using AI to study, which I don't mind. And yeah, so I guess I'm a little bit over time, but let me just do the. It doesn't actually take me that long to do this for chapter 2. So let's just see how it does. I forgot to check. Actually, this is what I should have done. I should have marked this done and then done that. So let me ask ChatGPT chapter 2 questions. Let's just see what that looks like. So I'll say thank you. Thank you. I have a new question. And then again, ChatGPT still has access to this. It'll, from context, assume we are referring to the same book. So I'll just tell you if the answer looks high quality. It probably is, and then and then move on. So chapter 2, yeah, forces and cause and effect. Sure, yeah, net force causes acceleration. Third losses, different pairs. Yeah, also practice. Yeah, these are all good. So if this was something that a student wrote, and passes AI detection, then I would say it looks great. And then when we do the meeting, then I'll ask you a little bit more about it. So it's not like if you didn't use AI or if I didn't think you used AI, somehow that gives you free. The one-on-one meeting, it'll kind of sort out everything. Whatever you know, great. Whether you got to the knowledge through using AI or some other way, fine. What you know is what you know. And what you don't know, whether you had a AI help you or had a friend help you, kind of doesn't matter. What you don't know, well, is still what you don't know. So let me get the next thing. Um, thank you. Last question. And then, oh yeah, here I need to describe it. And because you can't draw diagrams, and ChatGPT is actually pretty good at describing free body diagrams. So all the significant forces, there should be like 8 forces total. Gravitational force between Earth and table and Earth and book. And I say significant, so you don't have to identify the gravitational force between table and book. So I have so far 2 interactions, so there's 4 forces involved there. And then there's normal force from the table on book. There's normal force from the earth on table. So that's another 2. So there's another 4 set of forces there. So 8 total. And yeah, so that's sort of what these are. 4 there, 4 there. Yeah, I'm not reading it in detail, but that should be correct. Identify all the action-reaction force pairs. Yeah, so that would be the 2 gravitational forces between 2 same objects. 2 gravitational forces between 2 same objects, and same deal with the normal force. That's correct. I didn't think ChatGPT would be wrong. And this might be difficult to do AI detection on. Let me give it a try. Because there isn't much like sentences there. So let me give it a try. It might, based on the maybe these unit code characters, it might think that's AI. But let's see. It still thinks it's AI. Oh, that's interesting. But like I could have written the exact same thing, so I don't know. Ultimately, it's not like I trust those AI checkers and somehow use that in grading you. No, the only thing that matters in me grading you is our one-on-one meeting. That's where I'll decide if you are displaying enough knowledge for an A. Are you displaying enough knowledge for a B? So the use of AI, if it's somehow helping you learn, great. I don't mind. In fact, there are tools that I built for this class myself, so you can do that. And as long as you are learning, and if you are not learning, it kind of doesn't matter if you use the AI or not. Either way, people who don't know physics shouldn't get an A or B in a physics class. So alright, I think that ends this playing with the AI, and I guess this is sort of like a combination of 2 different agenda items. I did do the demonstration of the timed assessment, and the AI tools in the class. I didn't do that specifically, but I think it's fine. So let me wrap up here. Thank you.